So it's that time of the year again. The busy, tiring, expensive, stressful holidays have just passed, and it's time to start planning your next family vacation. Where to go, you ask yourself? You need to find a place that is plenty to do on a very low dime, preferably a place that will entertain the children and you and your significant other. A place with good food and maybe a little nightlife. Come visit your nation's capital, Washington, D.C. I first want to take you to the National Mall. The National Mall is surrounded by Smithsonian and many other museums and memorials. On the east end of the National Mall sits proud and tall Capitol Hill on First Street. Walking westward, you will run across the memorials such as the World War I and II Memorial and the Vietnam Memorial. On the west end is the Washington Monument, marking the center of Washington, D.C., right off of 4th Street. If you continue walking west beyond the Washington Monument, you will pass the reflecting pool. This site might look familiar from Forrest and Jenny's reunion in Forrest Gump. If you continue eastbound, you will be if you continue eastbound, you will see a building that looks oh too familiar. A building that's picture has probably been touched by everyone in America by handling a penny. Yes, you have reached the Lincoln Memorial. Lining the National Mall is many of the Smithsonian museums, such as the Air and Space Museum, the National History Museum, and the American History Museum. These places are great for the kids. Just remind them only to look and never to touch. So now you're tired of walking. No worries. Take a seat on one of the trolley tours located in Union Station and take a tour of your nation's capital. DC is not only a mixing bowl of people, it's also a mixing bowl of good food. You can swing by Ruth's Chris Steakhouse for some of the most juicy, tender filet mignons you have ever eaten. Maybe you're in the mood for Chinese. P.F. Chang's is not far off. Then there's my favorite restaurant, Philip's Flagship Buffet. This is definitely a family pleaser with its ability to satisfy many different tastes in one place. It has an all-you-can-eat seafood and soul food buffet. You will also love the pasta bar, where a pasta dish is made to your liking with all the ingredients of your choice. Also has a delectable dessert bar with cakes, pies, and all kinds of ice creams. If you're looking for a different kind of dining experience, take a trip to the wharf. At the wharf, you'll find that they sell fresh seafood right out of the water. You can ask that they steam your food for you on the spot so you can enjoy your food right there at the wharf. The nightlife, too, is quite the experience. Walking the mall during the night is an excellent pastime. You can experience a more romantic feel walking through the monuments while they're illuminated. There are more bars and more clubs than you can count. There's Zanzibar for an older crowd, 25 and up. If you enjoy listening to oldies but goodies and maybe getting your step on, this might be the place for you. Remember though, this club is dressed to impress. It does have a dress code, as does many of the other nightclubs in this area. Then there's Adams Morgan. This is actually a street full of bars with live entertainment, little hole in the wall restaurants, and just overcrowded with people. This is this usually has a mixed crowd, young college students and older couples that occupy the streets. As for nightclubs, there are places like the Fur Nightclub and Love. These places too have dress codes and are 21 and up. It is more often than ever that you will find a celebrity who is visiting DC showing up in one of these clubs. Now that we've talked about the National Mall, the museums, great food, and nightlife, Washington, D.C. is a great place to visit, especially if you're traveling on a budget. We all know how expensive driving can be, or airfare. Adding the price of hotels for a week or two, and any trip can become very costly. You can view all of the monuments in Washington, D.C. with no harm to your pocket. Many of the museums are free or very cheap, and the food is very affordable. Come visit Washington, Come visit Washington, D.C. for your next family vacation, and you will not regret it.